So as you know, in our Jewish holiday calendar, we've just finished up Sukkot and Simchat Torah, right? Our Sukkot, though, is really the holiday in which we recognize our impermanence and fragility in our relatively comfortable lives. It's a chance to appreciate what we have, how fleeting it sometimes can be, and to help us remain attuned to others in our community who may experience more fragility than we do. And for the last couple of years, a team of Beth Am volunteers, through an initiative called Farm Mitzvah, that's Farm Mitzvah, have been deepening our connections with the farm workers in Half Moon Bay and San Mateo County, and have created a beautiful partnership with an organization called ALAS, Ayudando Latinos a Soñar, Helping Latinos Dream, an incredible nonprofit organization dedicated to working for social wellness through multicultural practices, mental health care, individualized and collective support related to education, immigration processes, and work, and advocating for the well-being of their whole community. It is my pleasure to introduce and welcome our guest speaker tonight, Dr. Belinda Hernandez-Arriaga, who is the founder and executive director of ALAS. Unfortunately, due to some unforeseen circumstances, Belinda couldn't be here with us in person, but thanks to the magic of Zoom, is joining us by Zoom tonight. A bit about Dr. Hernandez-Arriaga. She holds a doctorate in education and a master's degree in social work. She's a licensed clinical social worker, registered and an assistant professor at the University of San Francisco, teaching in the counseling psychology program. Her focus of expertise is mental health with the Latino community, understanding trauma in immigrant children and families, and working with farm worker mental health. She had launched significant community mental health initiatives at ALAS, including influential advocacy for systemic change in care and access for the COSIDE program. Belinda was named to the San Mateo County Women's Hall of Fame and appointed San Mateo County District 3 Arts Commissioner, and also has a children's book, an award-winning children's book called Love and Monsters in Sophia's Life. She's been a longtime member of the Bay Area Border Relief as well. Belinda, welcome to Congregation Beth Am. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much. Truly an honor to be here with all of you tonight. Thank you for that beautiful introduction and also the music of the heart. Thank you, Beth Am, and to all those who have been volunteering with us over the last 2 years. We built a community with your congregation, and tonight we feel the love, and we're here in solidarity, representing not just me or Sandy and Rocio that will be here with you all tonight to speak, but rather representing the many farm workers, children, families, and ALAS team members that make up our community. I want to bring you out to the fields with me tonight. As we sang so beautifully about preparing our hearts, I would like to take a moment for you to close your eyes. Imagine yourself in the green, beautiful fields of veggies or flowers, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, or strawberries, maybe even the pumpkins. Take in the smells, the sounds of the wind, the droplets of the fog. Try to listen for God's voice. In the silence, what does He tell you? What is He calling us to in this moment? And I want you to imagine the farm workers. 5 a.m, it's cold outside. Most of us snuggled in bed. They're working with their jackets, their hoodie, with their gloves, and feeling the cold, but bent over for the first hour, starting what will be their 8 hours of king vegetables or the fruits or the flour that we love. Try to imagine being in their shoes. What comes to your mind? How is God present with them in the fields? Now open your eyes, and I want to share with you a story this week about St. Felix and the farm workers at one of the farms in Captain Bay that we go and visit. And this, as I thought about coming here to visit with you all, I kept thinking, what is a theme that I want to bring today? But I also asked God to prepare my heart and share what is a story that needs to be told. And honestly, as I met with them this week, like we go out and visit with them, take them food, our smiles, when we can, hoodies, toiletries, all the things that you all have also been part of. Can you hear me? We
Yes.
met with Senor Felix and Senor Carlos and a group of them that are about 60 years old. They all have spent their life working in the fields. They all have journeys just like you and I and your families, those journeys that we look back and think about where they came from and where they are now. And they tell us the stories of how one day they had to make a better life for their family in Mexico. And as young men, some of them teenagers, they packed up their bags and they made the long journey to what we know as El Norte, or the United States. And somehow they landed in Half Moon Bay. And in this journey, they tell us how proud they have been working 40, 35 years in the field. Behind me in this photo, you'll see the marigolds that are so alive right now in Half Moon Bay. And it's a sea of beautiful marigolds. And for us, they show up on our tables from the store, from the nursery, from the flower shop. But for them, they see these flowers born from the ground, from the seeds, from the roots, from the water, from the rain, the dewdrops that grow them. And as we talked to Senor Felix, I asked you to tell me what was a message that he would want to give to the community about the building of 555 Kelly, which is a senior farm worker housing that we're trying to develop for them. Senor Felix has been in every meeting that we've had with the city council, with the planning commission. And every time I look into the crowd, I see his eyes sparkling. It's as they're sparkling with a hope, but also with a plea to say, Help. We need you. Hear us. We feel. And he told me, Belinda, my message is that I want to retire next year. I've told my son that I think I have one more year to work because I want to wait and see if the dream and the home of 555 Kelly will be built so I can have a place to rest my head. So I can finally rest. And it's in these moments that we see them working in the field and that we're out there and we see them smile and we are there in community that I feel God most present. The first day that I ever had gone out to this same field was during COVID. And it's a very long story. I won't share the whole, but we had an opportunity to take food out to them because Taqueria had said, hey, we have tacos we want to donate to farm workers. And so we were excited to be able to go out and take a warm meal to them. And, we took tacos, ribs, their drink, gave them a soda. And as I handed it to Mr. Felix, he took the brown bag and he took the drink in his hand and he said, Belinda, this is the first time in 40 years that someone has ever given me something here in these weeks. We've been alone. And I'll never forget the moment because it really spoke to the journey, how sometimes we can be so present together, living in communities together, but so invisible and so alone. So tonight, Betham, I want to thank you for seeing us, for seeing the farm workers of the coastside, for supporting Alas, a nonprofit that in many ways we have felt alone. But through your hands and feet, which are the hands and feet of how God moves, you've given hope. You've given love. You've welcomed a stranger. And to close, I think one of the best messages tonight is that really and truly we're all one. There's so much suffering happening in the world right now and in our own community and in your own congregation right now. But it's really love, it's faith, and it's hope that will keep us going in uncharted times. My hope is that when you feel overwhelmed, as you mentioned tonight, close your eyes and think about the fields. Think about Senor Felix, Senor Javier, Senor Carlos. They're warm hands, but yet they're powerful hearts. They are strong. They're there every day for all of us. And we are also in union with them in so many ways. Thank you so much for this evening. I want to say how blessed I am to be here and also to have my team, Rocio, who also is a beautiful example of a strong farm worker, mother, advocate, organizer, and who will share a little bit more tonight about her. And also Sandra Ascension, who's a director of our farm worker program and comes with so much heart and history of her own families' journeys. And you see, that's what it's all about. Every one of us has a journey, and it's up to us to choose our destiny and how to connect and love and care for one another. Thank you, Beth Ann.
So welcome, so glad to have you as well. Come on up.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. Thank you, Belinda, for sharing those stories so powerful that we get to hear every single day and see our hardworking farm workers, seniors. You were just there earlier today, sharing with our senior farm workers about the dream that they wish to see this housing project come into fruition within the next year or so, hopefully. So we're very hopeful, and so we have Rocio here tonight, who's one of our farm workers, special farm workers in our community, is going to share a little bit about herself, and we have Angel here too. I'll allow them to introduce themselves as well, but she's gonna say her speech in Spanish, and then I'll go ahead and translate as well. And I don't think I mentioned my name, but my name is Sandra. I'm the program director, farm worker program director at ALAS. And if you have any questions afterwards, I'd be happy to also chat as well. Thank you so much.
Gracias a todos. Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Rocío Ávila. Soy de México y nací en el estado de Guanajuato. Vengo de una familia de 9 miembros y mis padres son campesinos, gracias a Dios. Ellos nos criaron trabajando desde niños en el campo y ayudándoles a trabajar en la agricultura. Vine a este país hace 14 años y he formado una hermosa familia con mis 3 hijos, una hija de 13 años, una niña de 10 y mi hijo de 7. Soy una trabajadora agrícola porque lo llevo en la sangre. Cuando llegué aquí empecé a trabajar con mi hermano en la granja donde él siembra, apoyándole a sacar sus cosechas y trabajo. He continuado trabajando en el campo porque quiero que mis hijos se enseñen a querer y a valorar la tierra que nos da de comer. Ellos saben cómo sembrar, cómo limpiar la hierba y cómo para tener un mejor producto y piscar la cosecha. También me apoyan cada sábado en la Farmers Market a vender las verduras que cosechamos. Quiero decirle que la vida de los campesinos es muy difícil y triste a la vez. Hacemos el trabajo más difícil y menos valorado por muchos. Traemos el alimento de muchas personas a la mesa para que las coman y las disfruten más frescas. Trabajamos sin importar el clima soleado, lluvioso, porque tenemos que hacerlo para pagar nuestras rentas y pagos. Para muchas familias como la mía, ha sido muy frustrante tener que vivir en un cuarto, compartiendo vivienda con más familias, porque no hay suficiente viviendas y el sueldo que tiene una familia agrícola no es suficiente para poder pagar una renta sola. Esto es uno de los motivos por el cual me motivó a mí a unirme al Comité de Viviendas Justas de ALAS hace ya cerca de 3 años, para empezar a alzar la voz de los campesinos y los trabajadores esenciales, hacernos escuchar de las necesidades que tenemos y las condiciones que a veces pasamos y tenemos que aguantar por tener un trabajo y un lugar donde vivir. Como lo he dicho antes, los campesinos hemos estado en las sombras por mucho tiempo, porque nos sentimos oprimidos y que no tenemos derecho a pedir nada porque emigramos a este país y que no tenemos el derecho de tener una vida digna. Agradezco a la organización ALAS y a todas las personas que se han unido a esta grande causa y espero que todos ustedes al escuchar mi historia nos apoyen y abran su corazón por nuestra lucha continua. Muchas gracias.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rocio Avila. I am Mexican, and I was born in the state of Guanajuato. I come from a family of 9 siblings and from farm-working parents. I thank God that they raised us working in the field since we were children, helping them to work in agriculture. I came to this country more than 14 years ago, and I have formed a beautiful family with 2 daughters and a son. One is 13 years old, the other 10, and the youngest 7. I am an agricultural worker because it's in my blood. When I arrived here, I started working with my brother on the farm where he plants, and I've helped him with the harvest. I've continued working with him in the fields because I want my children to learn to love and value the land that feeds us. They know how to plant, they know how to weed, to have a better product, to pick the harvest. They also support me every Saturday at the farmer's market selling the vegetables that we harvest. Although I want to tell you that the life of the farm worker is very difficult and sad at the same time. We do the most difficult work and often the least paid and least valued by many. We bring food to the table for many people to eat and enjoy fresh, healthy foods. We work regardless of the weather, rain or shine, because we have to do it in order to pay our bills and have a roof over our heads. For many families like mine, it has been very frustrating to have to live in one room, sharing housing with several other families because there is not enough housing and the income that farm worker families earn is not enough to be able to pay rent alone. It is one of the reasons that motivated me to join the ALAS Fair Housing Committee about 3 years ago. To begin to raise our voice for the farm workers and essential workers, to make ourselves heard about the needs that we have and the challenges that we sometimes go through and have to face and endure in order to have a job or a place to live. As I have said before, we are farm workers. We farm workers have been in the shadows for a long time. We felt oppressed and as though we do not have the right to ask for anything because we've immigrated to this country, and that we do not have the right to have a dignified life. I thank ALAS, the organization ALAS, and all the people who have joined this great cause, and I hope that all of you, upon hearing my story, will support us and open your hearts for our ongoing struggle. Thank you very much.
Thank you again to Belinda, to Rocio, to Angel, and to Sandra. Thank you so much for being here with us.